Omega level, Omega
level.
No other being has ever had the might, nay, the nobility.
Hey, how's it going? It's your boy Jersh Manhunter. Make sure you check out our social medias, Instagram, Omega_level_podcast, and at Facebook, Omega Level Podcast. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can find us at Omega Level Podcast. Man, that's a lot of podcasts, but here we go. Anchor, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, sure, that's a thing, and all of the other ones. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to Omega Level. I am Skinny Fat Nick, and sitting next to me is your boy Jersh Manhunter.
Reluctantly.
Reluctantly. And today it is talking movies of the talk. There be discussions on movies.
I concur.
I concur. Thank you, Spock.
You're welcome.
So today we're going to be discussing the Netflix original movie, The Red Sea Diving Resort. Yeah, quite a long title.
And not to be mistaken with the Resort of the Red Sea Diving. It is very misconstrued and misinterpreted sometimes that this is a completely different movie.
Two different things. One's a comedy, one is not a comedy.
No, one is not a comedy. Okay.
Actually, this movie did have like much more comical moments in it than I expected. Like, it's by no means a comedy, but it had a few comical moments, and I was like, that caught me off guard. Like, namely when they are first all together and he's telling them about the mission, like each of their roles and like what they're going to be, and like they're just not taking it seriously and they're all kind of laughing. I was like, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, that's
like,
why.
Pretty fucking serious thing I'm about to do.
I mean, that's why Ethan, Ben Kingsley's character is like, this is
he's like,
not
I never
would
have picked any of you.
Yeah, none of you.
But anyways, yeah, this movie is about the Israeli Mossad agents attempt to rescue Ethiopian Jewish refugees in Sudan in 1979, and it's inspired by true events. It's always difficult to know what is and isn't real when you watch a movie that opens up saying inspired by real events or based on real events.
100% accurate.
You never really know what is true and what's not. But a more in-depth, description of the movie is inspired by remarkable true-life rescue missions. This is the incredible story of a group of Mossad agents and brave Ethiopians who in the early 80s used a desert holiday retreat in Sudan as a front to smuggle thousands of refugees to Israel. This undercover team carrying out the mission is led by the charismatic Ari Levinson and the courageous local Kebede Binimo. How do you say his name again? What was it? It was Kenneth Williams' character. Kebede Birmo? I don't know. I'm probably messing that all up.
I don't think they said his last name.
I don't think they did either. It's just Kebede? Is that what they said, though, Kebede?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. And the movie is written and directed by Gideon Raff, who also wrote and directed some episodes of the TV shows The Spy, which is not out yet, Homeland, Tyrant, Dig, POW, and Prisoners of War. And from my small little looking into his IMDb page, POW and Prisoners of War are the exact same project, just in different countries and languages.
Yeah, I was going to say POW is literally that.
Yeah, so I don't know. And then he also wrote and directed the movies Train and The Killing Floors. This is his third movie that he's written and directed. And then it stars Chris Evans as the title character, Ari Levinson, Michael Kenneth Williams of The Wire, of Community, the good teacher, as Kebede, the person that is in Ethiopia that is like on the ground level helping smuggle them from Ethiopia to Sudan. And then Chris Evans' team is made up of Alessandro Nivola. What did I just say? Alessandro Nivola? I don't know how to say his last name. He plays Sammy, the field doctor. Then Haley Bennett, who plays Rachel, who is, I guess, just multilingual. And she is like, it definitely seemed like she was a spy.
She's badass.
Yeah, when she was on the plane, like, I don't think that she was a flight attendant.
No.
Yeah,
She's a part of the group. Yeah.
Pretty sure she's a spy. And then Michiel Huisman as Jake Wolf and Alex Hassell as Max Ross, and then they are fronted and led by Ben Kingsley, who is in Israel, who is part of the Israeli government. And then there's also Greg Kinnear, who plays a CIA agent that they bump into like several times throughout the movie. And he ends up playing like a much bigger role. When he first showed up, I was like, oh shit, Greg Kinnear's in this? It's not like it's just some random nobody that you just slip in front of you. Like, that's a Greg Kinnear. Everybody knows this guy.
And you have a face recognition that you know he's going to play a bigger part, too.
Yeah.
You don't have someone like him just playing a minor role unless, we're looking at a rival in Star Wars. Forrest Whitaker, both times.
Right, yeah, he's just barely in it.
I guess he's in Rogue One more than he was in Arrival. But
I mean, yeah, true. In Arrival, he's in like, one scene.
Is it Annihilation that had Fishburne? There was a movie recently that had Lawrence Fishburne, and he's like was pointless as well. It's just like, hey, he's a name in here.
Oh, I don't remember, but yeah,
He wasn't in that.
just
like,
pumping him in here for no reason. Like, hey,
I was
look,
like,
this
what
one's in here.
I was like, what are they even here?
Why? Just glorified cameos where like they're
Yeah,
just there to have their name on the poster.
Names help.
Yeah.
Selling things.
And so yeah, that's the gist of this movie. We're not going to go through it like point by point. The movie's not especially long. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes, so look around 2 hours without credits. So it's not like it's an especially long movie, but it is tiresome at times.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it overall much more than Josh did.
Yeah.
I thought the story was very gripping and harrowing as the film continued on and they were getting deeper into what they were doing. But the beginning is very shoddy. And to be honest, if it wasn't for the cast of this movie and that we were going to do an episode about it, if I was just watching it to watch it, if it wasn't because like Kenneth Williams and Chris Evans were in it, I probably would have stopped after the first 15 minutes.
See, I mean, it was poor. The tech was poor at the beginning.
Very.
Seeing a person in a car that wasn't supposed to have a person in it. Clearly, the stunt driver was a little like, really? That just got let by?
It's very
I mean,
jarring.
yeah.
It was so like in your face too. Like it was very easy to see it.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It's like, okay. Yeah, I rewound as well just to make sure that I was like, okay, I thought I saw a person in there, but it was a toolbox. He used the toolbox.
Like it confused me because I thought he was still in the car for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It was like there's a scene where Chris Evans' character goes around and like to distract these what are they called? Not bad guys, but there's like an actual name.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, it's the people in Ethiopia that are killing the Jewish people.
The gorillas, man.
Yeah, the gorillas essentially. And Chris Evans' character Ari is trying to save this child at this one moment, and so he is trying to distract them, and he grabs a toolbox, and you can see him grab the toolbox, so it's very clear what he's going to do afterwards. He can put it on the next clip. When they see the truck driving away, there's clearly somebody in the truck driving it with like a motorcycle helmet on in full garb, and then it crashes into this thing, and like I don't know if it lit on fire or not, but it crashes into like this building or whatever, like this hut. And I had to like rewind and make sure the person was in there. And then they opened the door and there's a toolbox. So then I was confused, like, wait, he's not in the car? What the fuck is going on here? I was like, oh, this is really awful editing.
Yeah, that was just, they didn't, yeah.
That actually got by them. Like, how do you watch this movie in editing and not notice? At what point are you making this movie that I'm sure was not cheap that you're like, fuck it. We'll just let it slide.
Got to get to the main, got to get to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, that was really bad. And the text following that, like, it's probably because that's so prevalent in your face that I was just able to nitpick the text for the next 10, 15 minutes, and especially the editing where I was like, oh, God, this is not good. Man, fuck, I hope this movie isn't terrible. But it does, like, mellow out as the movie goes on to where it's just not noticeably bad anymore. I wouldn't say the editing is good. It's very, like, baseline. Mm-hmm. Like, it's essentially just what it needed to be. Nothing special. The cinematography I thought was really good for the movie. I mean, it'd be kind of hard for it not to be good
nothing
from
special.
where they were shooting, but
yeah,
nothing special. Yeah, it's not like, oh, this deserves to win stuff. But it was good. Overall, I really liked the performances. Though I will say only a few of them were like really worth talking about. Everyone else was kind of just like, all right, well, yeah, you acted the movie. Wasn't like you did anything special.
Honestly, I only thought Sammy and the Warlord was the only really compelling. Like, oh man, they did a really good job. Everyone else kind of
just Alessandro and the Warlord, the Colonel is Chris Chalk, who was I don't know if I've seen before this movie, but man, he was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, he did great. His smiles is like menacing. He's very weird scene of him playing a two-headed guitar.
Yeah, that was what?
I don't know.
It was they had a bunch of really intense moments when he came to like the hotel, especially when he has dinner with them.
Yes.
Woo!
That was a good scene.
Which was intense. It was very fucking good. I thought both of them I thought were excellent, and I thought Chris Evans was really good, and I thought that Haley Bennett was really good. And before we recorded today, Josh and I were talking about Chris Evans' performance in this, and like the whole time essentially Josh was just like, "Oh, it's Captain America."
I mean, is he going to work out in every film? Like, does he always have to do push-ups and like pull-ups? Is that a thing that Chris Evans has to like? It's now in your contract. You have to do 5 pull-ups and 5 push-ups per movie.
I thought that was funny too. I noticed he just kept working out, and every time there was downtime in the scene, he's just, all right, push-ups, pull-ups, got to maintain this physique. Yeah. Like, you're not Cap anymore. Why do you have to maintain the physique?
You know, and if anyone finds him attractive, you get to see him shirtless too. Nice little thigh shot.
Oh, yeah. Very nice thigh shot.
Good little Chris. No, Chris there.
We almost saw Chris and little Chris Jr. Almost.
Yep.
Yeah, he works out a ton. That's really funny.
Even underwater, you see he had a pull-up scene in scuba gear. What the fuck was what was the point of that?
When they were in jail, there's like a whole bunch of fucking people in there with him, and he's just doing fucking pull-ups. Everyone's like, dude, calm down. Dude, get down here.
Hey, how do you keep that physique, dude? I mean, that's how you do it.
No shit, dude.
God.
In fact, the first time you see him,
he's actually
doing push-ups in the back of a truck.
Yeah, he's not even that built compared to what he was in
no.
Cap. Yeah, he's lost a little weight.
Yeah, he's toned down a little bit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I could definitely see that, like, for at least the first half of the movie, I just kept thinking, fuck, man, Steve Rogers is getting these people together. Like, he's getting this mission going. Just kept seeing Captain America.
Well, this movie, for me, didn't find itself until it started getting to the Red Sea Resort. They had funding to talk to one of the Sudan's government to get a deal and buy a hotel.
Oh, rent it.
Yeah, they were going to rent the hotel.
That was an intense scene, too, with that guy.
That was pretty good, yeah, because the dude's talking shit, and he's like, oh, you don't want to go in there. He has many. My leader has many enemies. Now he has a few less. And you hear gunshots going off in the background in the middle of this deal. Like, why was she getting up? Like, what is she doing?
I guess she's just a fearless spy.
Apparently.
It's like, what's going on back here? It's like, what? There are
you
gunshots.
Not realize you're in a Muslim country? You're a woman. We love you over here. You know, I respect the hell out of women. But you're in a Muslim country.
Yeah, they don't.
And they've had a moment where they're enforcing Sharia law even more.
Yeah.
Like, so it was even more strict. Like, they're beating women. Yeah, man, it's ridiculous.
They made a point of actually saying that, too. Like, you want to take this blonde white woman over there?
Yeah.
And, like, not have her body and her face covered at this moment in time of what's going on in that country? Like, I don't know how smart of an idea this is.
Yeah.
I can't believe she was even like, yeah, sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, let's go to a place where they absolutely hate my
where they could absolutely kill me.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
God, one dude, the colonel, man, he said something about clipping his daughter. Dads clip their daughters. They take their clits away? Like, is that
Dude, yeah, something crazy. I don't know, man. But yeah, he said something really fucked up about that. I was like, what?
That was fucked up. Yeah, Chris Evans was like, I don't care if you have all these guns on me. I'm gonna you don't touch her.
Yeah, dude, that was, I liked that scene.
Yeah, that was rough.
I really liked my favorite parts of his performance, other than towards the end.
Before you say anything, I think it's funny that they didn't bring anybody that speaks Arabic.
Like in the movie itself at all?
Like the group of themselves, and none of them spoke. Who the fuck's going to an Arabic country and not going to speak their language?
And you never heard any of them speak it. They say the woman, Rachel, is bilingual, but you never hear her speak that
German.
language.
Yeah, she didn't speak that language. Yeah,
so we don't know if maybe she spoke Arabic and they just left it out of the movie.
She was saying shukran or something, so she knows, I guess, some of it.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if she was trying to, like, make sure she didn't give away that she knew it, but they would have had a scene that would have been like, oh, they said this, this, and this, or whatever.
Yeah, and they never had that.
Because I thought that was pretty clever since they didn't have anybody that could speak their language. While they're like, he's looking, smiling, laughing at him, and he's actually telling his guards, search the building, do this, and he's like, oh, let's have dinner instead. Like, the Americans are, now, whatever race they are. I don't know what they're from.
Well, whatever nationality they are.
Yeah, he's from Jerusalem, but I don't know where everybody else is from.
Yeah, they don't say. They're obviously all of them are Jewish.
Yeah. Maybe. I think he's the only one that's Jewish.
I think so. I think they were just people that, I don't know, maybe they were all ex-Mossad agents. Maybe they all are actually Jewish.
Possibly, because I know they had the Navy SEALs for Jerusalem get involved, and that's where this whole, cargo liftoff and stuff like that. It was a pretty clever plan for the most part. Except
it was very,
Chris Evans' character, Ari, is very reckless.
Oh,
that's been mentioned multiple times. Sammy only follows me. He's like, I follow you, and I'm an idiot. Every fucking time, I'm like a little fucking dog.
That scene in the prison with him was fucking excellent.
And I think he's supposed to, like, lost 2 of his fingers, but it's like he doesn't do a good job of hiding his fingers. You can
the doctor?
Clearly, I think they're just, I don't know. I feel like they went for crippled, but I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can see the fingers being bent. Like, it's not,
They weren't clear on it. I don't know if it was supposed to be he didn't have them or if he was just crippled, because you can clearly see him at some points in the movie. It's just another kind of shoddy thing about it.
Yeah, it's like, why are they, I don't know.
I guess they couldn't pay like the little bit of CGI to touch it up to take his fingers out.
Yeah. And when they find themselves, like, that's when the movie I felt like kicked in when they got the resort, because then they ended up being a real hotel. A tourist company.
Yeah, it was really funny.
They're like, we drove all the way from Khartoum to this, and he's like, okay, well, I guess we got to fake this, and then they kind of become a real one. And it's like, gets way more like happy.
Because it's like the perfect cover.
Yeah, the perfect cover. It's like, have a bunch of white people here, so no one's gonna suspect why a bunch of white people are holding a. And I'm not even just saying white people.
No, they say that in the movie. Yeah.
Like, it makes it a better cover. You have actual white tourists out here, like,
staying at this white person's
and they're
hotel.
German. I believe that group was German.
Yeah, they were German.
And they have them out there, so they cover up. It's like, oh, they're not going to wonder why is this like abandoned hotel. It's not now. Now it's an actual.
Now it's an operation.
Yeah, it's an operation.
But they had their own staff
that feel
they didn't get to bring
drastically, man. Like that, the feel of the movie right there.
Absolutely,
I was like, okay, I like this feel, and then it goes back to its original feel. And
it was
that
kind
was
of
for me
upbeat.
jarring. Like, got upbeat, then got real dark again.
Yeah, the pacing was very weird.
And then like felt too actiony. I don't know. I have weird complaints about this movie. Like, I don't know. I don't think it hit its the mood and the feel was off for me this whole movie.
I just think it bent genres a little too much.
Back and forth. Yeah,
exactly.
Like,
it didn't know exactly what it wanted to be.
Yeah, like what genre is this? It's a movie.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Yeah.
It's partly an action, partly a drama thriller, partly like comedic. Like, I don't know.
Like, I'm glad it didn't get too sad, but this was a sad situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very deep issue. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
This shit's still going on today.
Yeah.
Based in 1979. I think it elapsed probably a year span.
It seemed like it was about a year. Yeah.
It said 80 at one point.
Mhm.
So.
Dude, and throughout their missions, they rescued and like got thousands of refugees out. That's insane.
Yeah, I liked his little board that he ended up keeping with him where it said satisfied customers. He was keeping track of the people, and at one point it was 3,640.
That's a lot.
That's when we stopped counting, but then he had an extra 400. So we're assuming that they got at least 4,000 people out from this.
That's a fucking lot.
Huge.
In a year.
They lost a few dozen. Yeah.
Especially when the colonel went to that refugee camp and just murdered all the refugees.
And was like, hey, do you guys know anything? No one said anything. He sat down the first line and like without even hesitating, boom, had one of his soldiers, boom, 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 6 straight people. Second line, and he asked the same question. No one answers. He nods and he's like, well, I have to. You know, he's kind of like, you did this to yourself.
He's like, you're making me do it. Yeah, piece of shit.
Pulls him down, and of course the guy's like, I know who you're looking for.
Yeah.
And they all still got killed.
Yeah. And then they all die anyway. It's like, oh, yeah, great, thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah. Fucking man, dude, that colonel.
So what that tells you is that they waited on the first line that you knew. So while I don't justify murder.
Right.
But that's what the colonel was like, oh, well, you had this information and withheld it, so you're all going to die anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
You could have saved the first half people, and I would probably never done this.
He probably would have anyways, but that would be his rationalization for it.
I feel like that would have been what his thought process would have been. Like, oh, well, you held out for me, so you knew this from the jump. You watched 6 people die, so you died.
Yeah. So he was a brutal fucking guy. Brutal guy. His interactions with the Mossad agents at the Red Sea Hotel, like he goes there a few times throughout the movie. Those were really fucking good. Like great acting there. Chris Chalk, like, oh man, I can't say enough good things about his performance in this. He was so fucking good as the colonel.
He really was.
My God, dude. I cannot wait to see him in more stuff.
Actually, he should have been more
prevalent
involved.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
That should have been a more like he was clearly the main threat. He was the reason that they were not able to get out with so many people, or some of their plans were thwarted because of that and stuff like that. Yep. Definitely should have been in more.
I do like how they got just straight fucking lucky. When they do their first mission, there's a roadblock up ahead, and they're like, fuck it. Like, Chris Evans' character, Ari's like, oh, we can't fail on the first mission. So they just go radio silent and turn the lights off, and right before they get to it, turn their lights in their trucks back on and just drive through the roadblock, and they shoot at him. But the soldier that shoots at him misses him, and he's too afraid to tell the colonel that he didn't hit the trucks. So when they go to the resort to check, the colonel's like, I'm going to look at the back of your trucks. Because if you weren't gone last night, if you didn't go anywhere, there shouldn't be bullet holes in your trucks, right? And Ari's like, yeah, no, there shouldn't be. So he goes and looks, and there's no bullet holes. So then he questions his guy. He's like, "Oh, you fucking sure you hit the truck?" He goes,
yeah,
I'm positive, like 6 or 7 times. And it's like he was too afraid to tell him I missed. So that is what got them off the hook.
Yeah, and another thing too is that these guerrilla units in Africa at that time too, and still to now, are not that well trained. So it's not surprising that they're not missing their shots. And I hate watching gunfires where there's so many bullets happening and nobody gets hit. Like they had one person get hit in this whole fucking movie.
Yeah,
like.
I mean, I'm
he
sure
died,
that's
but like
kind of realistic. But when there's a lot of people firing guns in all crazy directions, more than one person's getting hit.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of people are getting hit.
Yeah, you have 10 assault rifles, like AKs is what I'm assuming they were.
They look like AKs. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, you're hitting somebody. Like,
yeah.
I know how. Like you don't have to be a good shot. You're unloading 10 guns. Somebody's getting hit
in the same general direction. Yeah. Someone's getting hit.
Somebody's getting hit.
I always think it's kind of funny, like you were saying, when in movies like. You have 30 fucking people just wildly firing guns in a general direction. They're trying to hit 2 people and nobody gets hit. It's like, really? 30 people had guns firing at 2 people. Sure, they're not trained, but all those bullets in that one congested area didn't manage to find any part of their body?
Yeah.
They can't be that. No, come on. Someone got hit.
That's why I feel like you have to when you incorporate it. And, I get it. For the movies, you have to make things suspenseful. Yeah, man, it's going, how are they going to get out of this? I think that you need to plan a scene with that and have some sort of backup. Like your next scene to be, oh, man, a person got hurt. Let's deal with that real quick. Get it going.
Just to show.
And there's a lot of movies that do that. You know what I mean? Like not every, like the main character doesn't have to get. That's whatever. It's expected. Whatever. Yeah. And even if he does, fix it. You have the field doctor. That was the whole point. You have a doctor on set, and they had a scene like that, but for one dude.
Yeah, for
a Navy SEAL.
Yeah, for a random Navy SEAL that we never meet.
That we never meet. Didn't even get to see his face. It was in the dark.
Yeah, and then they reveal like in a scene or two later that he bled out and died. He didn't make it.
He didn't make it.
Yeah, which is awful. And that's just totally like made the doctor feel invalidated. Like, why the fuck am I even here? Couldn't even save anybody's life.
Yep.
Why am I here?
Yep. The one person that got shot, he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
What a chump.
Chump change. Oh, man. But yeah, the colonel comes around quite often, stirs up some bullshit. And when he's not around and you see him at the hotel, like you were saying, it's very, like, almost upbeat. It's like a different fucking movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
No, and I like that section. Don't get me wrong. That
I
was an
did
awesome
too.
section. I like the whole building up the hotel, actually working it. They actually like getting their own thing.
Yeah.
Laughed pretty hard when the tourists first arrived. And she took the ID and stuff. Let me take a photocopy. And she goes to the back.
Yeah.
And then Sammy makes like a fax machine nose, like, or photocopy. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Both of them started laughing. That was pretty good.
I like when it's the next morning, I believe, after that, Chris Evans gets out of bed, and that's when you almost see him naked. Woo, best part.
Ooh,
and
Chris Evans.
he walks outside, and he sees, I think it's Max. It's the guy that's, he's just in a bathing suit, and he's like, just catching sun? What are you doing? He's like, oh, just getting ready to go teach us fucking scuba diving class in about 5 minutes because that's in your brochure.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
He's like,
And they actually did. I'm like, they have all this equipment. Like, what?
yeah, that was confusing to me too. It's like, where do they have all this fucking equipment to do it? Was
That's
it just
definitely
at the hotel?
There's no way, because that hotel looked. I mean, there were people living there, help, but they wouldn't have nice scuba gear. Like, they wouldn't have 10 outfits.
I know, right?
Wetsuits,
Yeah.
10 oxygen tanks, like masks. No, I'm sorry. That's. Just
I'm assuming they did that in real life.
Just in
like,
case.
They taught scuba diving classes and like lessons, but it could not have been that extensive.
no way.
Because all the equipment they had was like, this is kind of top of the line looking stuff, unless it was already at the hotel, because they did say the hotel was previously in operation, and the only reason it wasn't is because the previous people that ran it pulled out because it was too dangerous to be there.
Yep.
So they could have had all this shit, but why would they just leave it?
Yeah.
It was 1979. That shit ain't cheap.
Unless they were rushed. Yeah, no. Unless they were rushed out. I don't
know.
forced out. Just like I don't know.
Yeah. That's
Some
crazy.
things like that. And it's like, what the? Like a little bit of an oversight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and they clearly show, as you were talking about earlier, that like no one spoke like their language.
Yeah.
They clearly show that now that I'm thinking about it, in the really intense dinner scene when the colonel is talking to one of the hotel employees that's not one of Chris Evans' Ari's group.
She's like,
And
hey,
he's
act
like,
like we're talking about food.
Exactly. Act like we're talking about the food. And he's asking him questions, and obviously nobody knows what he's saying. So
Yeah.
why the fuck did they go out there with no one that can speak the local
That's
language?
what I'm saying. Like,
That's so
what?
dumb.
What?
Unless she really did speak it, Rachel did, and she just didn't let on. But then
But they
we
had
also
never had a
weren't.
scene.
We
We
also
never
weren't
knew.
told that she
Yeah.
could either. So now we're just left thinking they're just in the dark the whole time.
And the only thing that we could assume that she did speak it was when she went to the checkpoint to try to get them out of prison when they got caught.
Well, yeah, but she only says like a really
One
simple
word.
thing. Yeah.
Sakran.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. I don't know. They didn't even have it because I had subtitles on. They didn't.
Yeah.
It
But
just
she's
said the
just saying
word.
one thing over and
Yeah.
over again. It's like something to get the guy's attention.
Yep.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then when she speaks to him, they speak English.
Yep. So I don't think she does.
Yeah.
Like,
He calls her multilingual, but then I'm guessing that's just their way of trying to say, oh, she spoke the language, and then they just don't illustrate for us. That was really shitty.
yeah.
They should have shown
I hope
us.
that's not the case. They should have
Yeah.
just, unfortunately, did the dumb thing and not brought somebody that speaks the actual language of
Yeah.
that country. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. If they did do that in real life, that was not a very good idea. That was poorly planned.
that was-
I mean, obviously their mission worked, and they did this for a while, like a year. See, 4,000
said
people.
at the
He
end,
never
they, you know,
died.
They came back,
Yeah.
and they got more.
And he went
More
back and
more.
got more later on. That's fucking crazy. This dude is brave as shit.
Yeah, he is.
My God, dude. That's
he
a
don't
good
give,
person.
He don't give a shit about his family. Also, a pointless.
Yeah, that
Why'd
sucked.
they even bring in the family in this whole movie?
You see his kid one time. He mentions his wife like twice, and
Yeah.
it's like he has a family, but I guess he just felt this calling for the greater good. Like, I can help people.
There
I
was
need
no
to do
point
it.
to show that family.
But yeah, they show the family, I guess, just to show that like what he's giving up. But then they don't really hit on it, so it doesn't hit at all.
Yeah, but now it's
it
a
has
cool
no
transition.
impact.
She's playing with the plane. It shows us they're on the plane now.
Yeah, that was a really cool transition. Actually, I did like that. That was one of the best,
It
probably
was
the best
smooth.
editing.
It was like literally the same shape, like movement.
Yeah.
And then boom, right in the next scene. That was awesome. That was,
That was probably the best editing of the whole fucking movie. But yeah, so that's like the entire movie is them going through these operations, and the operation scenes are always really good. Like those are really, really well done. Like
Yeah.
they're very well filmed.
the operations were dope.
Yeah, those are really cool. Especially the one where like everybody's getting shot at when
On
they
the
find them
beach?
on the beach.
Yeah,
Woo,
and then he
that was
comes out. He's like,
crazy.
"Hey, we're night scuba." Like,
That was really
that's
clever.
kind of smart. Yeah.
That was really clever. He's like, I got a bunch of students in the fucking water. Why are you fucking shooting at us? He's like, they know why we're here. And then they get taken to jail, and it's like, oh, fuck, man, how are we going to get them out? And, of course, it's Rachel that goes back to the embassy to talk to the guy that they made the original deal with to get him out of jail.
Yeah, and that's where you
that
had
was
the
smart as fuck.
fallout of Sammy and Ari as
Yep,
well.
getting
Sammy's
that
like,
fight
I
in the
fucking
jail.
follow you like a dog.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was really funny when they get out.
That was his best. That's when I was like, damn, he's
Yeah,
killing
that
this.
was it was excellent
Started
performance,
crying
dude.
stuff, man.
Yeah,
That
it was
was
so good.
That's fucking good.
I thought Edmonds was really good in that role too, but the other guy was asked to do so much more. Edmonds was supposed to be like stoically understanding.
Yes.
but he did well.
And
He's
they were
supposed to be
stoic
stoic the
He's
whole
not
movie.
logically though. He's the one that takes risk. He even acknowledges.
Exactly,
He's like, no,
yeah.
I'm sorry. You
He's
know,
like,
he doesn't.
yeah.
He just gets a plan and goes with it.
Mhm.
And it's mentioned multiple times. And he's like, dude, you don't think shit through.
And somehow it worked out for him his whole life.
You can't, he's like, I'm not lucky like you.
Yeah, no shit. And he's like, yeah, I don't get to do all this shit and not die. Like,
Yeah.
We're not all you. We're not Captain America.
Let me show you what's supposed to be no fingers.
It'd been great if you turned on and be like, I don't have the serum that you have.
I don't have infinite endurance, okay?
I don't have a
Fuck
super
you,
strength.
Cap. He's like, what?
He's like, wrong movie. I can't tell. You look just like him.
Is this Point Blank, you Captain Falcon?
Yeah, by the way, back-to-back weeks that we talked about a Captain America in a different movie that's not Marvel.
We're going to look up next week's Sebastian Stan movie.
Even though he's not Cap in the MCU, Bucky's been Cap in the comics.
Yeah,
so we
it's
gotta
close
keep going.
enough.
We got to keep doing it.
He's in some sort of relation to the boy Cap.
The boys Cap.
The boys Cap.
The Caps.
The boys. I'm
The
gonna
Caps
start
of
that show
Americas.
soon.
The boys? It looks
I'm
interesting.
so tired of seeing fucking, and they had the audacity to fucking put it on the trailer of one of it. Tired of superhero fatigue. God,
For a, and
and
but
then it's a
for
super. That's what
superhero show.
I'm saying. Oh, because it's gritty. Oh,
Ooh.
I'm sure it's great. It's getting. I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, I
Looks
saw-
awesome.
Saw
Looks
Sam
fun.
post about it on Facebook the other day. He was like,
Just
"This
so
is
tired
fire."
of superhero fatigue. They said that 5 movies ago, and we just had our highest grossing movie of all time this year. Yeah, okay.
Of all the time,
3 movies that broke a bill. Ain't no big deal.
It's definitely superhero fatigue when the movie that's now the highest grossing movie of all time is the 4th in a series and the 22nd in an overall story and managed to gross the most of all time. You need to know 21 other stories to understand this movie to completion. And it's the highest grossing thing of all time. But there's superhero fatigue.
No, of course.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's people are like, oh, I hate these movies making this. It's phase. It's phase. Like,
Yeah, all like 4 people in the world that hate them. Yeah. Apparently there ain't too many. Because Endgame made a fuck ton of money. Oh, man. This is like Avatar. So many people claim they hate that movie. It's like, do you? Because like it made almost $3 billion, and I'm pretty sure
Overseas
you
is where
saw
that
it
bad
in
boy raked in,
theaters.
though.
Yeah, but it raked in America
They
too.
like-
It made a
yeah,
lot.
true.
But yeah, overseas.
These
was,
movies
oh my
make
God.
the most overseas,
Yeah.
though. But
Oh,
they're
yeah.
also way more stuff. I mean, this is
It's way other, there's like every other country.
Yeah,
I mean,
same.
America's just one
get
country.
released in 50 countries. I mean, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can make a lot of fucking money. But I was saying that scene where they're right after the jail scene where they fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really funny when they get out and they're both like clearly beaten up.
Yep.
And then Rachel comes to like get them out of jail with the diplomat, the Sudan diplomat. And he's like, "What happened to you guys? Are you okay? Did the guards mistreat you?" You're like, "Oh no, we're fine." He's like, "Well, what happened?" He's like, "Well, we did it to each other. We don't get
Sammy's
we
like, we don't get along.
we don't get along." And then the guy just starts laughing. He's like, "All right, you guys are fucking crazy."
You guys are free to go. Have fun. White people, am I right?
You should have just turned and looked at the camera and like, "Fucking white
Maybe
people."
that'd have been great.
That would have totally
Best line of the whole movie.
killed the movie, and I'd be like, "Why the fuck did that even happen?" Oh, and I meant to mention earlier, like, man, a really fucking heartbreaking part in that movie is the first time you see them taking people out of Ethiopia. It's before they have the total mission. It's the first time that like you see Ari there. They're crossing through this like riverbed. And right before they cross through this, man, I fucked this up.
Yeah, I was about to say,
They
you
escape
skipped the
or
part that
whatever,
brought her.
and they're riding down the road, and they come to an area, it's like a little clearing area on the road where like a bunch of people have been killed. And then there's one woman that's alive against a tree, and she's like covered in blood, and like there's like blood all on the bottom of her dress. Like the implication is obviously that they killed everyone around her and then raped her and then left her there. It's like, man, fuck
I was thinking they
me,
like
dude.
gutted her, she had a baby or something. I mean,
Maybe
it
I
could
don't
be
know. I
that
thought
too,
they
yeah.
like raped her or something from
Yeah.
the way she was walking. Something clearly happened.
Yeah.
Like something really
She's
fucking bad.
mutilated.
Yeah. Maybe they mutilated her or something. I don't know. But yeah, so then they keep on walking and they're trying to get out of Ethiopia. And they come across this river, like this bridge, but they can't cross the bridge. They got to stay like down low. So they cross through the water. And when they get deep enough to where like they're just swimming and they're all connected, holding each other's hands, she just breaks from the formation and kind of floats away and sinks to the bottom and fucking kills herself. Just lets herself drown. I was like, holy
She probably had no
fuck.
strength anyways, even if she fought it. Like,
Yeah,
she couldn't
probably.
get up. So.
And then who was it?
Sammy.
Sammy tried to save her, but like he couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't save her. I was like, fuck, man. This is fucking
And that's
awful.
when he was like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
Like, we're done after
Oh,
this.
wait, was that Sam? Yeah, it was Sammy in the beginning. He leaves him, and then he goes back to get him again.
Yeah, when he
that's
comes
right,
back
yeah.
as a doctor, and he's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah, when he shows up, and he's like, no, what the fuck are you doing here? What the fuck is he doing here? Why is he here?
The nurse is like, I don't know. He just came in.
I don't even know who this guy is. Why are you yelling?
He made an appointment. He's here. Doctor.
And I thought the scene, too, like the montage of him gathering everybody felt very like, I don't know, man, like very
Expendables?
action, expendable spy movie shit. Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm assembling the team. I was like,
Well,
this
that's what
is
Captain
weird.
does. I'm confused. This is
is
exactly what
Captain
Captain
America.
America does.
But overall, for like performance-wise, I thought he was Sammy was good. Alessandro Nivola, I think to say his name, he was excellent. And then Chris Chalk, as I said, I thought Chris Evans was really good. Like, yeah, it's very similar to what it is as Captain America, but like it doesn't do it bad. He does that performance well. And then I thought that Haley Bennett was really fucking good as Rachel. And everyone else is like Ben Kingsley's good, Greg Kinnear's good. The rest of like the group of the agents are good, but it's like no one really stands out. They're just good.
No. Yeah, it's a movie trying to tell its story.
Exactly.
That is it.
Yeah, the characters come second. It's about the plot.
Mm-hmm.
And like the story is very interesting. It's an intriguing story.
Yes.
It's very fucking sad.
Yeah, it is.
That it's at all based in reality. It's fucking awful that people just get slaughtered and murdered for no reason for something as as arbitrary and simple as because they're a certain religion. Like, really? Yeah. Why? Who fucking why? What does it hurt you that they believe something different? Like, it doesn't. If they're not trying to hurt you, it's fine.
Sense.
It's fucking stupid, man. Nope. Oh man. And just I don't know. Anybody getting killed over shit like that.
Killing your own race too. I mean, killing
their own people too.
Yeah, their own people.
Yeah, the Jewish people that they're trying to save from Ethiopia are Ethiopian Jewish people. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming they're like converted to Judaism, and they want to go, to Israel because. Well,
Chris Evans said that line like Sheba came over and.
Oh, you're right. That's true. Yeah,
landed here, and that's why some of our people are in Africa.
That's right.
They had that. Yeah, that relationship here. Mm-hmm. So like Judaism was probably founded
pretty prevalent there too.
Not founded there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it came here, and then it actually like had an upbringing.
Exactly.
Like, oh wow, there's actually a faith here. It's not like we just happened to convert. Like they were probably
actually raised
Judaism,
in it, over like years and shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, over generations probably.
They kiss the ground. Apparently that's a thing. I've seen that in
when they first get to Israel. Yeah, I saw
kiss
that
the
too.
Holy Land.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and at the end of the movie, when it's over, you see like some real life footage of one of their landings of when they brought some people back, and you see them like come out and like how happy they are and shit like that, and like fucking terrified they were from like where they came from. Speaking of being terrified, there was one scene where Chris Evans goes to the refugee camp to see Abadi. How do you say his name?
Kebeda?
Huh?
Who are you talking about?
Michael Kenneth Williams' character.
Kebeda?
He goes to see Kebeda, and that woman stops them. She goes, "Hey, what are we doing? Why are we still here? I had a child and a husband that died on the journey coming here, and now we're here, and I'm hungry. We have no food. We can't sleep. This is an awful situation. Like, you took us out of a situation into a worse one, promising us to take us to Israel. Are you going to do it? Like, hurry the fuck up." I was like, fuck, dude, that's shitty. Like, they get taken out to this place, getting told, oh, we're going to take you, like, to the promised land, and it's going to be so much better, but first, you got to stay in this really shitty refugee camp. That's even worse than where you came from. It's like, oh, and, like, people will probably die on the way. Sorry.
I mean, you know the price, though, man. I mean, to survive, unfortunately, that's what it comes to.
Yeah, fucking sucks.
It's a tough journey, man.
Oh, my God, dude. Makes you
those are the people that give inspirational speeches later in life.
Yeah, no shit, right? Makes you think.
I've seen some shit.
Makes you think when your fucking iPhone charger breaks, it's really not that big a deal, is it?
It's kind of unfortunate.
Kind of unfortunate to go spend $15 that you're gonna earn the next day anyway when someone can't even fucking eat for a week.
Yeah, make sure you get your meals today.
Yeah, no plural. Shit, right? Yeah, meals.
You piece of shit.
You lucky, fortunate shits.
I'm gonna say this. This might be. I'm gonna say this with. This is not sacrilegious. This is just a genuine concern. Like, what would they do? It's not filled with anger. It's not something that like I'm purposely doing, because it goes with them kissing the ground in Jerusalem. It's a very the Holy Land.
Mm-hmm.
If you go there and like as most people do, like you spit, right?
Oh, like is that considered like wrong?
Is that an insult?
But I don't know.
But if you're not doing it like you're just casually spitting, like I'm walking out of spit. Like would someone be like, oh, I mean it's gross anyway. Spitting is gross. You see people do it and you're like, oh.
I would assume it'd be looked at as sacrilegious as an insult because way back in the day, I spit at you was an insult.
Yeah.
That was like, I spit at you. Like it was a show of disrespect.
Yeah.
So I assume that they probably still, they might still keep that way of thinking, like don't spit on the ground.
Yeah. Especially being such a very, like I said, real holy place.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, like what happens when a tourist is over there, like just visiting,
and
they just randomly
casually spit
without thinking about it? It's like, oh shit, you're going to
jail.
jail.
Feather. Wait, they do that in Jerusalem?
It's like, oh shit,
I'm staring at Star David right now.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Star David.
Star David.
It's actually people pronounce it wrong all the time. It's Store.
Store of David.
That's actually probably closer to how somebody that was from Israel would say it. David. Well, I'll ask Gal Gadot next time I see her because we're good friends.
Yeah.
I'm friends with Wonder Woman.
For sure.
That's what we got to do next. We got to watch the 3 Captain Americas, and we got to watch Wonder Woman. We got to keep with the red and blue and white going on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We got to watch another movie that she's in.
Okay.
Because she's Wonder Woman.
All right, and then she is Jewish, so.
Well, she actually is Jewish. Yeah, like Gal Gadot is. Not Wonder Woman, because she.
No, Wonder Woman is. She's the first Jewish woman in Themyscira. That's
she's
the new
first
lore.
Themysciran Jewish person.
Yes, it's she can believe in whatever she wants. Okay, that's a religion choice. Okay,
they're about to do DC Rebirth Volume 2, and they're gonna incorporate that in so that she looks just like Gal Gadot and has the same lineage and everything. They're gonna do that.
Dude, that's what's up.
They're gonna make every comic fan mad as fuck.
I'm with it.
I wouldn't give a fuck.
I
Who
wouldn't
gives
care.
a shit?
Yeah.
That kind of shit's not shit I care about in the comics.
You should.
Oh, I should.
You fucking should, dude.
You fucking should.
My Wonder Woman isn't Jewish. She's Themysciran.
My Nick Fury's not Sam Jackson. Actually, he is, because it's based on the Ultimates universe, and he was Sam Jackson in that comic. They used his inspiration. I loved that argument. When he was first cast, I see it all over the place. Like, what the fuck is Nick Fury black? Why is it Samuel Jackson? It's like, you don't really read comics, do you? There's an entire line called the Ultimates universe where Samuel Jackson is the likeness of Nick Fury. Like, they actually asked him if they could do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I actually prefer the Black Nick Fury.
Fuck me. If they're seeing him be Nick Fury, I can't imagine him any other way. They're watching him for 22 fucking...
He's too smooth.
10 years being Nick Fury. It's like, oh yeah, that's Nick Fury. That's what he's supposed to be.
He's too smooth, man.
Yeah, I like it way more.
Absolutely.
Way more. I mean, Nick Fury himself as a character...
What are we reading now? They had he's still white in the comics right now, or at least the main thing.
Well, yeah, he was only the Samuel Jackson likeness in the Ultimates universe, which is an alternate universe.
I wish they'd do it now.
So in main continuity, he's still, white, grizzled Nick Fury with the eye patch, looks like Snake Plissken.
Boo.
Yeah, still that fucker.
I'm just glad he's not in a lot.
Yeah, it's never been a character I've really cared too much for.
Nope.
It's like Nick Fury, yeah, sure, he leads
I
S.H.I.E.L.D.
respect
All right,
it.
let's go.
Yeah.
Next, who cares? He's not really a hero.
You're a bitch.
Me or Nick Fury?
You, not
Both,
Nick Fury.
motherfucker.
Yeah, both, man.
But anyways, yeah, so you got anything else that you want to say about this? It's going to be a bit of a shorter episode. There's not really a whole lot, I feel like.
That's fine. I'm sure our
dive into on
viewers
this
will
one.
appreciate that a little bit more. Our listeners
A little
will
shorter
appreciate
episode.
that.
Yeah.
They don't like hearing your voice too long.
No, they fucking hate
They
it.
go too long. And then they have a wrestling podcast. If they keep up with that, it's too much Nick in 1 week.
I'm not doing 3 hours in your voice.
Just stop, okay? Fucking breathe one time, all right? Get the fucking hamburger out of your mouth and just talk.
And just breathe for a minute. So what are your overall thoughts and conclusion on this movie?
Honestly, masterpiece.
10 was not the first sentence I expected.
Oscar noms all around. We talking text, we talking cinematography, we talking any acting.
We're talking editing, especially.
Haley gave probably one of the best female performances in the past
Pump
10
the brakes.
years.
Don't disparage Haley Bennett.
Don't even get me started on the stunt work.
It's so good. It's so in your face.
Man. Woo! I'm pumped up. I'm about to watch it after this podcast. Easily one of the best movies I have ever seen.
I'm going to watch on this podcast.
We are now changing our whole identity here at Omega Level Podcast to something that to the degree of Judaism, some sort of Red Sea.
What do you mean the Red Sea diving Omega Level
Moses,
podcast?
Dude. Moses.
Oh my God,
He
dude.
parted the Red Sea.
I mean, yeah.
And
true.
he was, I don't know if he was Jewish. Was he Jewish?
I mean, yeah.
Was he Jewish? Moses was Jewish?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Pretty sure. Could be wrong.
He's Hebrew, right? I don't know.
Yeah, he's Hebrew. Yeah.
Is he? Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
God, that's sad. I don't know that.
Yeah, it is sad. I'm not
I
the
don't
religious
remember.
one. What are you doing,
I
dude?
don't remember. Yeah.
Closest thing I have to Moses is Caesar. So.
Oh, you mean
Planet
fucking
of the
Planet of
Apes.
Apes?
Let's go, boy. Ooh, I snuck it in there. It's been a while, but I snuck it in there.
Julius Caesar. I was like, how is that close?
I snuck it in there, baby. Welcome to Omega Level Podcast.
Oh, you gotta mention him sometime.
I am Caesar.
Oh my God, fuck you.
Ape not kill ape, dude.
So, anyways, overall thoughts.
Probably gonna stick with my previous statement.
God, I hate you.
No, I don't know. Story was like you said before. It's compelling and heroin.
It's heroin.
Heroin, mainly female driven.
It's mainly female driven. When there's only one woman in it.
There's two.
I mean, there's a bunch of women. There's only one main woman.
Yep, and one they killed. So this male chauvinist fucking shit shows. This sexist movie. Are you kidding me? Was this made in 1935? No, the story itself, it's sad, but it's nice to see, you get to see these events, whether or not how accurate they've actually portrayed them. I'm assuming number-wise, yes, probably. The people they saved, from where to, where, to and from.
Exactly.
Probably the points. Don't know if that colonel was actually probably depicted properly. I mean, how would they ever... You know what I mean? I mean, I feel like that performance was probably made for this movie.
Right, yeah, I'm sure there was, they had troubles, but was there really one guy that kept coming around?
Yep. But clearly there's someone in charge, so that's probably the case. Wow, I'm so drawn back right now. Nick would interrupt me. You guys aren't going to hear this, but he interrupted me.
We had a pause, I had to sneeze.
Yeah, the worst. But with that said, it never, for me, it wasn't that gripping. You know what I mean? It didn't... the multiple changes of the feel kind of messed me up. The groove wasn't really there. I was waiting for Stella to come back, but it didn't happen. You know what I mean? It wasn't there.
Her groove did not come back.
Stella didn't get her groove back. None of the performances were hammy. none of them felt phoned in, but it didn't seem like something that needed the performance to like, man, we got to drive this movie home.
True.
You
It
know
wasn't
what
like a showcase.
Was definitely blown away I hate to use the word blown away. I was definitely intrigued and impressed with that of Sammy and the Colonel.
Chris Chalk
and Alessandro. Both were great. Chris Evans was just Cap.
But he
most
plays
of the
that well.
team was nice. I liked that. Like when they got to the resort, very fine. And while I wasn't entertained to the fullest of this movie, I never felt like it was dragging in a weird way. The pacing was relatively okay for me. You know?
Even though it like decided to
there
be
was
4 different
unnecessary
movies.
stuff. Yeah, even though it decided to be multiple different movies, I didn't feel like it was
paced wrong.
Or
paced like boringly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was jarring at points.
Yep. And explained probably a little too much.
Yeah, I guess
If that's a bad thing, it's not like it wasn't like, oh, they're spoon feeding you, but they hit every point.
Right.
Wouldn't watch it again. Wouldn't recommend it unless you are interested in that of like saving refugee people. You know, it sounds kind of fucking morbid that I'm like saying like,
right. Yeah, but
you know,
I know you don't mean it in
yeah.
like a disparaging way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
If it dealt with you, saving you, yes, 100%.
Don't watch it.
Fuck
Yeah.
you. Fuck this guy. Don't. Just let him die. Let Nick die.
Wow. We're getting serious.
I mean, I
today.
love you, but I hate you.
I love you. I'm just not gonna rescue you.
I'm just not going to rescue you. It's as simple as that, dude. You're in sedan? Whatever.
Fuck you.
I'll drive my sedan and get out of here. Hey, bingo. That was a poor taste joke. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you're a fucking piece
It was
of shit.
good. I like it's funny. It makes the people laugh.
It makes them laugh.
Yeah, you want to know
Oh,
how I
why
got
you're-
these scars?
It's like a weird Jack Nicholson thing mixed with Heath Ledger.
You want to know how I got these scars?
No, I really don't actually.
Okay.
Like, why did no one say that?
Yeah,
Well, I got these
no, I
scars?
don't.
No. Like, but I want to tell you. I don't care. You're fucking
Let
terrifying.
me grab your face and let me tell you. Okay, well, shit. Your dad was a drinker. All right.
I get it. You fucking shithead.
He's a
Yeah,
piece
all
of
right.
shit. Yeah. You told him what's what. You're a real New York gangster up in there. What, do you,
You told him
what
what?
about you? What about you, sir?
So like, overall, like I echo a lot of your sentiment. Actually, this is honestly the first time we've ever done this podcast where I've come into doing the podcast with one way of thinking, and it's going to end with me thinking a different way.
I feel like I did that for you with Shazam, but you weren't on the podcast itself. Because you had higher hopes, and then when you edited, you're like, actually,
Yeah,
some
like-
of the points you made maybe kind of less to like, yeah.
Yeah, some of the points you made
Fuck
just
Shazam.
didn't
But go
stand
ahead.
out to me. But like with this movie, like, yeah, man, like now that I think about it, when you were saying that, like it was really fucking tonally weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like it definitely was almost segmented into being 4 different movies almost.
Like they recorded the
weird.
first half, 4 months later, they recorded the second half, 5
Yeah.
months later. Like, I don't know how
Yeah, it was-
long it took to make this movie.
Right,
Probably
yeah, it definitely felt segmented. It definitely felt like it didn't know exactly what tone it wanted to keep. It kept switching tones. And that, like, it was very jarring when I watched it. And the editing was so fucking bad in the beginning. Like, oh, God, you immediately lose a couple points for that shit. Like, that was fucking awful.
Yeah.
I don't know how you let that shit slide. Like, this movie couldn't
Great
have...
lighting, though.
It couldn't have had a small budget. I mean, Greg Kinnear, Chris Evans, and fucking Ben Kingsley can't be cheap. Like, they have to be pretty penny. Unless they took less to make this movie because they believe in, like, wanting to
this
get
was-
this
yeah.
word and tell the story out there. So, like, it's always enjoy seeing a movie that's got, like, an uplifting message to it, which ultimately this movie does. It's like, there are good people out there that want to help people,
Yep.
which is cool. Like, it's I like to see shit like that.
Especially these lines like, we'll be back on this mission. And the Cabeta's like, it's not a mission. This is my life.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know
and
what
I
I
love
mean?
that Cabeta just never wanted to leave. He offered them to leave a couple times. He was like,
He will
there's still
die
people here.
as long as he is trying to say. If he dies, like, while doing this, he
then
lived
he-
a life.
He
worth
gets
living.
injured, and he on their
pierced
last
the lung,
mission,
something like
he
that.
gets his lung pierced. Oh no, he's injured. It's when they the colonel goes and like beats
Colonel
the
finds
fucking
his
shit
house,
out of him.
yeah.
Yeah, he tries to he is
Probably tried to get
attempting to leave
information.
him for dead.
Yeah.
And but Chris Evans and them go back to where he is, and they actually happen to find him. Well, someone hid him, and they show him where he is, so they take Cabeta away. And when they do their final mission, the CIA helps them actually, Greg Kinnear's character, and they get on this plane and fly away as the colonel and all them are like coming down on him. Like, I don't know how true that shit is, right? It was so fucking cinematic.
Yeah,
like,
almost hit a
overly
tree on the
dramatic.
runway last
Yeah.
second. Yeah.
We're not gonna. It's the one time that Ari like doesn't fully believe in something. He's like, we're not gonna make it. But Sammy's like, we're gonna make it. And it was
Yeah.
like the one time it flipped. You know, it was very like cinematic.
Yeah.
It was kind of cheesy, honestly. Like when that happened, I kind of went, no.
Yeah, I lost my boner.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Just from seeing Chris Evans.
Hey, man, that scene about an hour in, I was hooked.
But yeah, then they to the end of the movie, and they get to Israel, and they're unloading everybody, and they take Cabeta out, and they put him on like a stretcher, and they're gonna take him to the hospital. Obviously, he needs to go to the fucking hospital. But yeah, Chris Evans, Ari, and him have a conversation, and he. Again, Cabeta, like multiple times, has said there's thousands of people, and he tells me he's like, there's still thousands more that need help. Like he's still not satisfied.
No, he's
like,
not.
and I love
He's
that.
like,
He's
when they're
such-
all
Exactly. He's such a pure soul and just wants to help people so much that it's like, it doesn't matter he's laying on a bed about to fucking die.
Yeah.
Like, potentially could have been killed over this. He's like, there's still more. And then Ari, like, his response is pretty much just, I know, we'll go back. And then he fucking does. Like, Ari had the same kind of mind state.
And again.
That was cool. Like, so yeah, they're like good people. They're uplifting characters. But like, overall, the movie could have been way better. It could have been filmed tighter. It could have had better pacing. It could have leaned into one genre and been a drama thriller.
Yeah.
Like the story is the harrowing story. It could have just leaned fully into that, been something that almost reminiscent of like the style and tone almost of I had the name of the movie in my head and I lost it. Zero Dark 30.
Okay.
That would have suited this way more. Have you seen that?
Nope.
It's the movie about the mission.
No, I know what it is.
The SEALs went to kill Bin Laden. Yeah, that's like a very gripping, like fucking intense movie.
I just don't watch movies like that.
And that
That's
style.
why, yeah.
That movie technically is fucking brilliant. Oh my god, it's so well made. But if this would have been filmed in a style more of like that, I think it would have benefited the movie so much more. Just to lean into one thing fully.
I don't
Instead of being
remember what movie I was going to see, but it was like a lighter movie. I don't think it was Disney, but I'll just say Disney.
Mhm.
And that movie started. Zero Dark 30.
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah, that one came on.
And it starts with the torture scene, right?
This
Yeah.
is not
Dude,
right.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
this isn't the movie we're supposed to see here.
This is not Cars 3.
Yeah.
What is happening?
I don't see Pokemon anywhere.
But yeah, I actually think that like my rating for this movie has gone down. I originally probably give it like an 8 or so, but I think I'm leaning more towards like a 7. I think it dropped a little bit for me. Just from like this conversation making me think about that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, I didn't really think about it in that way. Like, yeah, it was kind of like shoddily put together. The pacing was really fucking weird. The story's good and it's harrowing at points. And when the movie is working, it's fucking working. And it's really only like the mission scenes. And then when it's a lighter tone in the hotel, just because they have such good chemistry among each other. Other than that, though, it's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's not as
It's
good.
like they
in other
wanted to
points.
tell 2 stories, but they didn't do a good job with the second story.
Very true. Yeah, very true. Or they wanted to tell like this
Like
this
you gotta
story in
have-
2 different ways.
Exactly. You got
in
to have
2
this
movies.
compassion with these people.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, he wants you to feel for the characters, which would have worked. But
Yeah.
like you did it a very like the children.
Very
like,
weird
You're trying
way.
to make us feel for him, like, but you show the kids once. Didn't even
Exactly.
see his wife.
Yeah.
Sexist once again.
As far as like a recommendation goes, if you're interested in the story, I don't think you'll think it's a waste of time. If the story interests you. The story immediately didn't interest me. Like when I read the synopsis, I probably wouldn't have watched. I watched the trailer and I thought the trailer looked good. It looked interesting. And I liked the cast, which is why I wanted to watch the movie. I don't know anything about the story other than what I've seen of the film. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, I don't know a whole lot about that. If you're a fan of Chris Evans, if you like Captain America, like you'll enjoy the performance, I guess, or you might hate it because it's very similar. You know what I mean?
He crosses his arm and looks handsome the whole time. That's about it. That's what we give him.
I mean,
He works out.
I'm not gonna say that little about him, but yeah.
I mean, he works out. He lifts.
He does some work.
He lifts things.
Oh, yeah, you're lifting. He pumping iron. But yeah, if the story itself does not grip you, like if you read the synopsis and it's not like, oh, that sounds interesting, you're probably not worth your time.
Yeah.
If you're not interested in the story itself, you're not gonna care about the movie.
Yep. That's the Jersh Manhunter guarantee.
The Jewish Manhunter, a guarantee.
Guarantee.
It's like guarantee. You got to be Cajun with it. Yeah, that's
man.
appropriate as
People
fuck into
don't
their
change.
culture.
People change. I don't change.
People don't change. Thanks, Steven.
Shout out to my boy Stephen Morrow, piece of shit.
But that's going to be it for us for this movie episode. It was going to be a little shorter, but it ended up being like 50 minutes anyway still.
Nick
So-
likes to gab his yabba.
But we appreciate you tuning in, checking us out. Make sure you hit up our social medias. Make sure you tell all your friends about us.
Don't turn that dial.
Because we're the best fucking podcast in the world on this planet about any topic in any genre. We're the fucking best. So tell everyone you know to listen to us because we're that fucking good.
Wow.
And that's a fucking guarantee from Josh.
No,
And if you
no,
disagree with it,
that-
he'll give you $1,000.
That is not a manhunter guarantee. Nope.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to listen to our comic episode on Friday.
Don't.